Good evening!
We are the team A Date with Mr. Mappleton. Make yourself comfortable and welcome to our making of. We knew we wanted something that matched our quirky sense of humor. We came with the concept of a comedy disguised as a thriller. We liked the idea of humor through contrast, and this concept guided us during the whole production of the movie.
In keeping with our art direction, I highlighted the contrast between all the elements, from the characters' personalities to their visual shapes. George, the old man, is clean-cut, calm, and polite. Gertrude, on the other hand, is disorganized but cheerfully energetic. As for Mr. Mappleton, he's a study in contrast all by himself.
Creating contrasting characters posed many challenges in terms of rigging. Mr. Mappleton was especially tricky. His small body had to withstand huge deformations, and I made sure his facial expressions did not affect the animation. The design of the eyes was demanding as well. They had to grow big and round in shots where he was angry, without penetrating his mouth.
I had already developed another rig and different modules to help the other films, so I decided to use them to set up the base of our highly contrasted characters in Mr. Mappleton. The true challenge was to adapt the different facial expressions from the artistic direction.
The amount of assets required us to work intelligently. By using one base model and then changing its look depth, we were able to have multiple assets.
We decided to use procedural texturing for all of the small objects and spend more time with the hero assets. We also optimized our scenes by rendering just one frame when the camera was not moving and adding the characters later in the compositing stage.
Establishing contrast required some experimentation. I used gouache to envision the general mood of the movie. With that, I created 3 different environments.
To keep with the idea of contrast, we used 2 different animation styles for George. In the first part of the film, his movements are slow and realistic for his age, setting the viewer up for the final scenes where George's movements are more extreme and cartoonish.
Shaping Mr. Mappleton's character was especially tricky. We chose to completely conceive his way of moving and interacting with George. His body is limited because he's cut in half, but we wanted him to move freely and be agile.
We maintained a constant dialogue with each other in order to have a certain uniformity while sticking to the different artistic styles we had set.
We wanted a realistic look for the fur in opposition to the cartoon design. For Mr. Mappleton's, I used his animation and deformations to guide my development of his fur. I used the stand-in technique, making the fur less heavy and making it easier to assemble all the elements.
We wanted the artistic direction to guide the entire film, so it was important that the credits contained part of the storytelling and contrast. My goal was to have something simple and efficient, yet fluid and inspiring enough to make people cheer until the very end of the credits.
Thank you for watching!
This was a big and exciting challenge for us. We hope you enjoyed your date with Mr. Mappleton as much as we did.